So for this play, what I found interesting was the stage directions and how each scene flowed like seamlessly and without blacking out between scenes, and I thought that was cool because that's not something you usually see in plays. Two of the values I felt were being represented in this play. So for the first one, I said love because everyone was struggling to find that with Esther and writing her love letters, and Mrs. Van Buren, even though she was married, she was still trying to find that with her husband. And then another thing was betrayal. I guess this was seen with, obviously, with George and Esther, as he turned out to not be the man she thought he was, and also between Esther and Mamie, because obviously with Mamie sleeping with her husband and Esther not telling her right at first that that was her husband. And I feel like this really shows in the play that marriage and love don't always go hand in hand, and that's something that's usually like just thought of. For the third question, something I looked up was what New York City was like in 1905, and I found out that it was at that time it was growing more and more diverse with a lot of different people moving into the city, and that kind of put into context the different characters and their actions. So for the fourth question, I feel like this play really gave new perspective to the African American experience, as it shows a woman in 1905 who is very independent and determined, and it showed like her hardships, especially since she wasn't just a woman, but she was an African American woman, and it shows the difficulty she had to overcome. I think stereotypes of different groups do exist today, unfortunately, and what perpetuates them is just ignorance, I guess, and not knowing what the other side is really like. And to overcome them, you just have to talk to people, I guess. Like, I know for me, a specific example is I'm an Asian American, and a lot of people think I'm not from here, but I was actually just born in Cincinnati. And I think, people don't realize, sometimes people don't realize that, and, just talking to me, and people find out, like, oh, she's from here. She's lived here her whole life. And so for my two questions about the play, my first question is, why do you think Nottage decided to write the play so that there were no pauses in between scenes? Like, what was the significance of that? And my second question is, how is this play and its message important today, and with all the differing political views we have today?